Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I haven't watched the movie and we got to postpone to next. Oh, wait, no. It was Dequan.
All right, buddy. All right.
Welcome to the Magic of Animation, where we explore the enchanting world of Disney, from the classics we grew up with to the latest releases. We'll take a deep dive into the artistry, storytelling, the unforgettable characters, and the pure magic that makes these movies timeless. So whether you're a lifelong Disney fan or new to the magic, sit back, relax, and join us as we embark on our journey through the wonderful, magical world of animation. Welcome back to the Magic of Animation. Did you miss us during our holiday hiatus? I hope you're ready because we're about to inject some serious adrenaline into your eardrums. Today's episode is hotter than Dragon's Breath as we dive into the high-octane world of Disney's The Great Mouse Detective. Get ready to party like it's 1897 with a pulse-pounding mix of mouse-sized mysteries and animated awesomeness. Buckle up and let the excitement unfold because this is where the magic happens, my friends. My name is Joey and I'm joined by Dequan.
Hello.
And Kevin.
Hey there.
And Mike.
Hello.
I may have over-exaggerated how hyped up this episode is going to be. It's probably not going to be as serious as I made it out to be, but...
Why do you say that by chance?
I don't know. I mean,
It's okay, clickbait.
Clickbait, yeah.
This episode's gonna suck.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like high octane is how I would describe our podcast, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not high on that octane.
It can get heated sometimes. And I feel like we're building up. Like the newer and more recent the episodes, the movies are getting, the more hot takes we have.
Right.
Just say something stupid again, Joey, and I'll fight you on it.
What the heck? I was just about to be on your side by saying Fox and the Hound was our best episode when me and you were fighting Dequan and Kevin. And then you just say, I'm going to say something stupid.
You know what? You're right. Let me correct myself. Someone say something stupid and I'll fight you on it.
Something stupid.
No,
I disagree. I 100% disagree. How dare you?
So with that...
Take that back.
Yeah.
Nah.
So with that, we're going to jump into our most anticipated Pooh's 100-acre check-in. Dequan, how is your... Who knows how long it's been?
Like 2 months, I think.
That's a lot to cover.
Yeah, honestly, pretty much 2 months, yeah. But honestly, it was existing. That's about it. Nothing crazy, nothing more. Just existing.
Just existing. Christmas was in that break and nothing to share about that.
Not in the slightest.
Sorry to hear that. Kevin?
I've had a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. More so, the biggest thing I guess we could say is that I now have another child.
Woo, woo, woo.
Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Congrats.
January 6th, young Killian Michael was born into the world.
Awesome. Killian's a sweet name.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's been where a lot of my time has gone recently. Leading up to it, been getting ready, and then he was a little ahead of schedule. So
also partial reason of the holiday hiatus.
Yeah, extension of the holiday hiatus. So, but yeah, now we're back at it, and little man's down, and hopefully he doesn't interrupt at all, if too much, if at all, and yeah, ready to get back into it.
Wonderful. How about you, Mike? Any babies?
No. Surprisingly enough, no, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's just been chill. It's just been moving along. We've just been taking it day by day.
Wonderful.
And night by night as well, some might say.
My life has just been on full throttle. Just since we taken the break, I don't know what the heck happened, but things just have gone. I can't even keep up. I don't even know what happened yesterday at this point. All I can say is we bought my son a play kitchen for Christmas. That's about the only thing I can remember.
Nice.
And I don't know if I had already booked our Disney trip before we went on break, but if we didn't, we're going to Disney World. And yesterday we upgraded to a better resort, so that's exciting.
Hey yo.
So there's going to be another break in there at some point because I'm going back to Disney World.
Disney.
Stats from Baymax. The Great Mouse Detective was released by Disney Animation on July 2nd, 1986. And it is based on Basil of Baker Street book series by Eve Titus. The budget was $14 million and it made $25 million on its initial release and made a lifetime box office of $38 million. Does anyone have a guess on what the tomato score was for this movie?
All right. Audience or
The tomato meter.
okay. I'm gonna go with 79.
71.
Mike?
67.
Technically, by Price is Right rules, Kevin wins. It's 76.
Dang.
Let's go.
Dang.
Is the audience score higher or lower?
Lower.
Higher.
I'm saying higher as well.
Dequan is wrong. 79.
Dang.
I was shocked by both of those scores, to be honest.
Me too.
Yeah? You thought they'd be higher or lower?
I thought they'd be lower. We'll get into that later, but I just thought they'd be lower. What the heck? Who's putting Kevin's scores in here as 74 for characters?
What in tarnation?
What in tarnation?
All right, so now we jump right into Timon and Pumbaa's movie review with the first category being overall enjoyment. How did we overall enjoy this movie? Overall. Anybody?
I'll be honest, I didn't. Yeah, it was alright. It was alright.
So, when me and my wife watched this however long ago, she left. She left in the middle of it, and I was like, I wish I could. And then at the end of the movie, I was like, you know what? This movie picked up at the end. And then because we took a break after me watching it, I had to watch it again. And I liked the beginning of it, knowing that the end of it was so good. So I actually enjoyed this movie. Even though I hated the first half of it the first time I watched it. Nobody else?
I was waiting for one of them as well.
I was waiting for Kevin.
Wait, why me?
Oh, no,
Dequan
you
goes
usually go
first.
before me.
Dequan already said he didn't
Dequan
like
said.
it.
Oh. Yeah, no, this is nothing too special. I mean, it was what it was.
Okay.
I don't know what more to say about it.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was just like bland. There's like no flavor. There's no spice.
Yeah.
There's no sweetness. It was just kind of there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not picking it over Lilo and Stitch, but it's definitely not bad.
That's one heck of a comparison. Comparing it to Lilo and Stitch. Whew.
So to go into some of the things that I enjoyed about it, I really enjoyed when the girl was like, "Hello, Toby. Would you like a crumpet?" That part was so funny. I love
Yeah,
the
I
little
can agree
girl.
with
She was
that.
great. And I had a note here before it got to the end. I think this might be the most mid movie out there. Nothing too bad, nothing too great.
It's like
Well,
cheese on crackers.
That's a pretty fair comparison.
I'm being honest, I kind of like cheese on
Oh, I
crackers.
love
Yeah, I was
cheese
gonna
and
say,
crackers,
wait a
but
minute. I wouldn't say I love this movie.
No. Cheese and crackers, not cheese on crackers.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
don't put the cheese on the cracker, you eat them separately.
Why would anybody do that?
Why would anybody watch this movie
I
again?
eat blocks of cheese.
I mean,
cheese.
ask Joey. He watched it a good couple times, I believe.
He was excited for the end. I don't know what that excitement could mean.
I don't know. I liked the second half of the movie. It picked up.
I like it the second half of the movie is fine. It just sounds funny. It's like I like the beginning better because I knew I was gonna get to the end. just funny.
But going off that last note, I have like there were things that made it good, but there were scenes that overstayed their welcome, like the rat song. That stuck around a little too long. The bar scene ran on a little too long, and the celebration when they captured Basil, that went way too long.
Yeah, there was one thing. I mean, this is a little out of order. But there's one thing that held this movie together for me, and it was a solo character. And without this character, I think a lot of the scores would be a lot less.
So I guess we'll talk about that when we get to characters.
Yeah. Yes.
I also didn't like that Basil
Mhm.
figured stuff out just because he had to because of the plot. Like finding his way through the pipes, that made no sense.
Sir, correction. His name was Basil. Okay, thank you very much.
But he's supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes, right?
But it doesn't really make sense. They didn't show his thought process. Like finding out the lair was by the river.
They don't need to show it. He's a genius. He just knows. He's that smart.
And then what really sticks out is that he figures out the Rat Boy's plan with no possible way of knowing what that plan was going to be.
I mean, you got it. He got it.
He's a genius. He doesn't need to show his work.
Mhm. I bet your teachers hated him.
He just wrote the answer down as soon as the paper was handed. He came up with it. There's no way you got this. You cheated. He's like, no. They're like, then where's your work?
Now we're implying that there's a mouse school.
Right.
There has to be, right?
Yeah, I would imagine there's a mouse queen. There has to be schooling.
Has to
There's
be.
a whole hierarchy going on there.
They got bars. They got palaces. They got detectives. There has to be schools.
So you like the music?
What?
They had bars.
This guy. The last note I have is that I really enjoyed how he put together How to Stop the Murder Machine and then how he posed for the picture at the end that was supposed to document his death, but he posed for it. He was a troll on the highest level.
I will admit that was probably one of the coolest scenes in the movie.
So, I think I'm stuck between a 6 and a 7. And just because I watched it a second time and didn't hate it, I'm going to give it a 7. That's a weird reason to give it a 7.
He's giving it a 7 because when he watched it a second time, he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah. Dequan, what about you?
Oh man, I am most certainly gonna give this like a 5. I was thoroughly disappointed.
5 doesn't sound disappointed.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible movie. It was just disappointing.
Okay, that's fair.
Sounds like noodles and water.
It's ramen noodles without the seasoning, bro.
That's very disappointing.
This man's talking sustenance.
I would be pretty upset if someone gave me noodles without any sort of seasoning.
They say seasoning. They say, okay, here's some salt and pepper. Put that in your ramen noodles.
Jesus Christ. Well, that might actually do something a little bit. Just a little bit.
It just
the
gives
spice
it
of life.
It gives it a 5 instead of a 3.
Right?
Salt is the 4, and then the pepper's the 5.
Real ones know how hard butter noodles hit.
Dude, okay,
oh, yes.
Butter noodles are different than water noodles. Don't you dare
A
insult
butter noodle and a
that
wet
way.
noodle.
Butter noodles go hard. Water noodles, I mean, that's just sad. I'm sorry.
Is
I'm
this a water noodle, or is it worse, or is it better?
This is just a noodle. I'm not going to clarify what type of noodle. It's just a down the middle of the line. It's a noodle. 5.
Just imagine putting like angel hair in boiling water and then making a bowl out of it and saying that's my meal.
Hey, some people. All right, don't judge.
I'm
Judging.
Judge. That's
We
pretty
don't judge here.
I don't know. There's a lot of judgment that happens in
There
this.
is a lot of judgment.
Maybe.
I mean, this whole thing's about judging movies.
He's got a
Man,
point.
our poor people listening score is just gonna plummet after this.
Okay, look, if you have to do it, don't buy spaghetti noodles. Just buy ramen. It's cheaper. You can get more out of it, and it will have flavor.
Nah, man, them ramen noodles be kind of chalky.
That's the filling part of it.
Hey, mac and cheese is 10 for 10 most days at Kroger.
Hey, you know what? That's fair.
Especially the SpongeBob shaped mac.
I'm just saying, you get some bread, and you get. Actually, no, never mind. Peanut butter and jelly is a little bit expensive. I don't like peanut butter jelly, but I know a lot of people do. It's
I'm on your
basically-
side there. It's overrated.
All right, we can change the topic now.
Okay, Mike, what did you score overall?
We do not have time for this argument right
6.
now.
6.
6.
We struck a nerve.
Don't like peanut butter and jelly. What the? Are you kidding me?
I don't like jelly.
I don't like peanut butter.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
See,
we need to settle down.
See, peanut butter and Nutella, that's my sandwich.
Interesting.
Yeah, see, okay.
I would
This guy's
rather
too
just
bougie
toast-
for jelly.
I would just rather toast up a
Jelly
piece of bread and
actually
put
kind
some
of makes
butter and jelly
used
on
to
it.
make me sick as a kid.
Well, you make me sick, Mike. All right.
You know, that's what I tell myself every time I look in the mirror.
Oh.
I look in the mirror, I say, "You make me sick," and I break a mirror.
Dang.
Mirrors are kind of banned in my house now.
Well, you know that's what you get for not liking peanut butter and jelly. So
Yeah, you gotta love the peanut butter and jelly.
That
you gotta
sounds
love
like
peanut butter and jelly to love yourself.
I feel like I'm being gaslit right now.
Bro, now I want some peanut butter and jelly now. That sounds so good right now.
We need to pause recording.
All right. Well, I think we gotta postpone this for my appetite right now.
Dequan didn't watch the movie again.
More importantly, I want the sandwich, so yeah, let's postpone this.
So storyline and plot is next up. I think it had a good storyline, a good plot. I don't think there's anything offensive about it.
So, I watched a short documentary on this, and basically, the Disney company keeps wanting to stay true to the mouse,
Right.
you know, to the true Mickey Mouse, and that's why we have so many mouse movies.
That makes
And
sense.
this is pretty much just a watered down Sherlock Holmes with mice, and that's why it's not great. It's not horrible.
All right.
That's it.
I mean, to me, it was just Sherlock Holmes, but with animals instead. Crazy concept, I know, for the movie.
Isn't that what Kevin just said?
That is what I just.
I thought you were saying something different. That's my bad then.
No, you're good.
I feel like this movie could have been something more, but they played it safe and did something less.
So this is the era where Disney was just fighting for their life because they thought that if I'm not wrong, Sleeping Beauty put a huge hole in their animation department. And it has been years. It hasn't been since Sleeping Beauty since they made a princess movie. Which is crazy to think that
Wow.
there's this big of a gap in between princess movies.
Okay.
You know, if you think about it, The Black Cauldron technically was a princess movie. Had a princess in it.
Yeah, but
You
she
know,
was a side
it
character.
did.
I
Robin
mean,
Hood. Well, I guess Maid Marian wasn't a princess, was she?
Actually, maybe. I don't remember.
who are we to decide who defines themselves as a princess?
True.
Royalty.
Okay, well, what about the Aristocats?
Who said that was a princess?
She's
They were
rich. I wouldn't say
princesses.
she's royalty.
She
Yeah,
was
she's
I
royalty.
mean,
rich.
she's royalty in her house.
Fair.
Oh, that's a bar.
Mm.
There's a queen in this movie.
I guess you could say figuratively a princess.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So, back to the storyline and plot of this movie. I wrote a note just guessing what the plot was. And I said, this is right after the opening scene. I said, oh my goodness, this little girl's dad gets murked. And then she goes to find Basil of Baker Street to help her find his murderer. Turns out he didn't die, but sure thought he did at the beginning of the movie.
I just want to say, why did Bat Boy look so giant when he came through that window? He really wasn't even that big.
Really small.
All
Well, I
right.
mean,
Because
it
that's
was
how
a mouse
scary
hole.
he was.
It was a mouse hole.
He was so scary to them, the fear made him seem bigger.
True. It's
That's
supposed to be
that's
seen through
often
the
used.
eyes of the girl, so.
Oh, okay.
An absolutely wild plot point was Basil, or whatever his name is. Basil was going to shoot
Basil.
the pillows while Dawson was holding them.
He's got no chill.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was all in the name of the genius.
I watched this movie twice, and I'm not sure what this note means, but that robot was making tea. Why was it evil? And the rat boy was all like, you know what will happen if you don't finish it. No, I don't. There's no context for anything here. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's obvious.
I thought it would be either
Mm.
you die or your daughter dies.
Yeah, I thought that was relatively obvious.
I understand that, but what is he trying to do? At that point, there's absolutely no context of what he's supposed to be doing.
Oh,
Yeah, because
okay,
we're waiting for
that's fair.
the
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
waiting for the reveal.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't really know till almost the end of
Yeah.
what
Right.
Radigan was trying to make him grateful.
I kind of like that. I know some people may not like that, but I like that they kept it in the shadow, and then for the big reveal, because that big reveal was a pretty good reveal. Because I'm like, yo, that could work.
Yes.
That really could work.
And to be fair, like I said, I didn't like the first half of this movie, so all the first half of all of my note sections are going to be a lot more negative than the second half of them.
Yeah, these are your old notes too. These are pre-powered up Joey.
Yeah.
Personally,
Rat Boy-
I'm on the same boat as Dino. I like it when a story doesn't give you the answers right away. Kind of let you either figure it out and then they reveal it at the end. I think that's a
Keep
good way
wondering.
of storytelling.
Yeah. Rat
Because it
Boy-
keeps you more. Sorry,
No,
I was
you're
just
good.
going to say it just keeps you more invested into the story because you want to see the pieces all come together. And as long as they make sense at the end, I think it's okay.
True.
Right. Rat Boy didn't like being called a rat. He wanted to be called a mouse for some reason. And he has the world's fattest cat on his payroll. So that was cool.
I know that cat's huge, dude. I was like, why is this cat so big?
His big boy.
My question was, how did he get the cat on his side? So I
Well,
want to know.
He's a rat. That's why.
Would a cat mess with a rat?
No, because like they share like the same 3 letters and they almost sound the same, so they became brother in arms.
So that's why cats don't like mice. Or
Yeah.
mouse. Like mouses or mice, however you want to say it. Because they have more letters in their name.
Yep.
It's an inferiority thing. They're like, oh, you think you're better because you got more letters? Well, let me show you. What's up?
So
Absolutely.
when they're in that toy store, Dawson was told not to let the little girl out of his sight, and what does he do? He lets her get kidnapped because he wasn't paying attention to her. What
You know,
an idiot.
you say that, but he's also the one who rescued her from the drain.
I guess.
Well, she wasn't really needing a rescue per se, but he rescued her from her emotions, her sadness. That's what I was looking for.
Then they're also in the wrong profession because they built that tower of toys with such speed and efficiency to get out of that toy store. Radigan's secret lair with a giant R on it makes no sense. If my name was Radigan and I had a secret lair and there's a building with an R on it, that might be where I'm hiding.
Yeah, but you know the thing of hiding in plain sight.
He would.
There's no way he'd be hiding. I mean, hey, Basil, Boshizzle, the man of Mouse Sherlock Holmes couldn't find it for anything.
Right.
So.
I
think he was a genius.
I really like that Radigan celebrated with a surprise party when Basil found him. That was a big boss move.
Wait a minute. Is his name Radigan or Ratigan? I just thought about that.
Same spelling, different pronunciation. Sorry.
Well, Ratigan would be with like R-A-D, but Ratigan would be with a T. So, and it's because he's a rat.
Really just how much you're enunciating the T.
Yeah.
I'm slurring half my words over here, so you can't expect much from me.
No, I'm actually generally asking because I actually don't know. Is it supposed to be Ratigan with like a D or Ratigan with like a T? Like it's supposed to be a play on him being a rat?
I don't know, man. I watched the movie a week ago at this point, so I don't know.
I just thought about it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked. Okay, mind.
Putting them in a mousetrap was brutal. But then he showed that he was planning so much more.
Right. I mean, realistically speaking, they would have been dead and wouldn't have felt like half of the rest of the stuff he planned. But he just wanted to pulverize it into existence. So
it's Ratigan with a T. I just looked it up. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. There is something I wanted to touch on that I forgot to touch on. So this is taking some steps back to the cat.
Okay.
Now, we know when they were singing a song about Ratigan, right? So I feel like it was a little unfair for him to send homie out there to get, like devoured. Clearly he wasn't in his right state of mind. He was a little, tipsy. Come on, bro. Like, he's been loyal to you this whole time. Like, you can't just end him like that. I mean, you clearly see that he's, a different punishment should have been in order, not death.
Rat Boy is the villain, so he's going to do villain things.
That's true.
The way Rat Boy trolls his victims is on another level. I'll talk about his song in the music segment, but his poem to the Queen was amazing.
No, it was an amazing poem, I will admit. I had to think about the poem for a second. Like, wait, what poem? Now I was like, I know what poem. Never mind.
If I'm being honest, I don't remember the poem. I just had a note about it.
It was in the notes.
It was talking about like how her reign would be over. It was like a nice little rhyme and whatnot about her reign being over. She's like, my reign.
I'm actually trying to remember it myself. I don't remember it.
Basil having a breakdown because he got outsmarted was a very good touch. He's supposed to be the world's best detective, and he gets outsmarted by the guy he's been tracking. So he has a breakdown. It's great. But then the problem is that there ain't no way anyone was fooled by that robot. It shook like crazy and sounded awful.
Yeah.
Look, hear me out. The Queen was nervous that day.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people shake like crazy when they're nervous. Their voice tends to, shake.
I guess.
Sound a little bad.
I guess. Speaking of the Queen, them saving the Queen was a good little sequence, but it was anticlimactic because it was over as quick as it started.
Yeah. It was such a small part.
I'll be honest. I don't think I was looking at the screen at that point because I don't recall how the Queen was saved.
The cat getting brutally murked was unnecessary. Okay.
Wait, what wasn't necessary?
The cat getting brutally murked.
No,
how did the cat get murked?
I don't remember.
Cat deserved it.
These notes are 2 months old, my guy.
I don't even remember. My brain was like, I don't even remember what happened with the cat.
Maybe it didn't. I really don't know. How in the world did Rat Boy get the girl and escape when they had control of the situation? Like, Basil.
Overconfident.
I guess. That's what happened to the Lions this weekend, so makes sense.
Ooh, okay.
There ain't no way they would have been able to catch Rat Boy in his powered steerable balloon with their just bunch of balloons with no steering.
Yeah, that was the thing I always wondered. Where did they get that phenomenal steering? I can understand, the air power, helium power boosting, but let's be real. That boost shouldn't have lasted that long. That balloon should have ran out. Unless they had several balloons they were pulling. But if that was the case, it wouldn't stay fluid.
Yeah.
So they were cheating.
My next part of that note is Disney Magic. It's been a minute since we mentioned Disney Magic.
Disney Magic, indeed.
The final.
Are we going to start talking about Up?
Well, when
it's
we
a
get
little
to,
early.
I have lots of things.
You see what I'm saying? So
Up is they're an exception.
It's a different studio.
Yeah.
The final fight scene on the clock was good, and the way it ended,
It's like a soul.
I was okay. The way it ended, I was okay with, and the hard-hitting reality that Basil fell with him, but then they had him flying up with the propeller, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Made no sense to me. I thought it was a emotional ending, a hard-hitting ending that Basil had to take himself out to take out Ratigan, but then somehow he landed on something that in no way would have been anywhere near where he was. But whatever.
I'll be honest, the moment I saw him fall with the propeller in his hand, I was like, bro, about to pull some Houdini type stuff.
He's coming back.
But I did really enjoy the ending when Basil and Dawson became partners.
Okay, yes, I love that part. I love that part.
Holmes and Watson.
Yeah. So, for storyline, I have a lot of issues with it. I liked it, so 7.
I will give the story a 6.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dequan. 6 it is.
Hey, Mike, what are you gonna
I think I'm also on a 6.
Wow, look at us go. Me blowing up. Next up is characters. The little girl was adorable.
Absolutely.
She just was. I liked Basil's design, especially when he was in his robe attire. Rat Boy was wasn't a fan of his voice. But then the more I got into it, and then the second time I watched it, I was more into it. But I think they did a good job making him menacing. Good villain.
Yeah, I would say he was a good villain. He was straightforward. He wasn't super sinister like some of the previous villains, but he fit the mold well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then my next note is the bat is interesting. I can't tell if I like him or not. And then my next note after that is scratch that. I love him.
Yep. Fidget.
I
the
like
best
Fidget.
character in the movie.
I like Fidget, but I hated Fidget's voice. I'm sorry.
No.
It was nails
perfect.
on the chalkboard.
No.
Hear me
Why
out.
you hate his voice?
Hear me
What's
out.
wrong with you?
Hear me out. I feel like I liked his sentence structure, his grammar. I love that. But how scratchy and raspy his voice was, which was just a little bit on not the softer side, but just a little bit I don't know how to describe it. What was it? What was that character's name from the Black Cauldron?
Gurgi?
No one cares.
I wish his voice was a little bit more closer to that.
I don't know, because then we would have been complaining that he was too close to Gurgi.
Yeah. No, I think they nailed this character.
I liked him.
Oh, you're wrong. I like the character. I just didn't like his voice.
And am I wrong, or was Bill the Lizard a part of Radigan's ruffians?
Bill was just there chilling, bro. He was just there for the free food and entertainment.
That was when I saw that green little lizard. I was like, wait a second, I've seen that guy before. Toby was a cute dog.
Yes, Bloodhound, right?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Toby the Great Mouse Detective. Let's see. Yes. Well, no.
No?
Basset Hound.
Dang it.
Close. Basil's ruffian disguise was great, and his disguised voice was great as well. So that is all I have for characters. So I'm going to give my score. If you guys have anything else to add, you can before you give your score. I think the characters, the girl was good, Basil was good, Dawson was okay, the rat was great, Ratigan was pretty good. We're gonna go 6.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. Characters, right there with you.
I feel like Fidget really saved this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Mike.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Wow. Yeah, I'm making
just because I think the character.
I'm making it a 7 because Fidget was so great. But continue.
I was just gonna say the reason I'm giving it a 7 is because I think to who the characters are supposed to be, like with him being, Sherlock, Watson, and I believe Ratigan is supposed to be very similar to Moriarty. Like they do fit like the type of personality and the type of person that they're supposed to be. So I can give them that like plus. And the side characters that weren't based on anyone were pretty good too.
The visuals and animation is next. The animation was rough. This is just the time frame where animation just isn't great.
Yeah, they were really starting to get into the CGI, and they did a great job with the chase scene through like the wheels and cogs and everything.
Yep.
I was gonna mention that. I was gonna say like that was
really,
the best looking
really
part.
well done.
So I have a note about that. I say the Big Ben scene had to be the big CGI scene of the movie, right?
Yep.
They put rent down on that one.
So I don't know. I'm sure Kevin knows this, but I'm not sure how much you and Mike know about this, Dequan. But I'm pretty sure this is when they start just putting one big, like, CGI masterpiece in every movie.
I did not know
this. This one was big on like not only the CGI but the ability to move the camera with the CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So like through that chase scene more specifically is like they did the whole environment and the moving through the cogs and like it was like it was like you were not following but you were watching the chase from in front and the camera was following while looking backward through the whole scene. And so the whole environment and everything was CGI, but the characters were still hand drawn in.
Yeah, so like there was during this time they used CGI throughout the movie, but they would put so much work into one centerpiece that they would put in all the marketing and everything. So like this, it was the Big Ben scene in Lion King, it was the water buffalo scene, and Beauty and the Beast is the ballroom scene. So just be on the lookout for it in the upcoming movies. I like the scene when Basil was explaining who the bad guy was and the thunderstorm was going on and lighting up the room. That was pretty good animation. The lightning transition from the Rat Boy song to Basil studying was great. Like they used the lightning as the transition between the scenes.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but I also did like you guys did mention obviously the clock tower scene. That is obvious that you mentioned, but I did like when Radigan was chasing down Basil, and you can see him become more feral into an actual rat, and I thought that was really cool, losing all his clothes and whatnot. I was like, now you actually are a rat, sir.
I've never understood the trope of piano keys waving off the piano when they're being played. Never made any sense to me. It's a small detail, but I can't stand it.
I think it's supposed to just be visually fun.
Yeah.
Or visually silly.
And my last note was what Dequan said. The scene of Radigan running through the gears looking mad crazy was great. I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's, like I said at the beginning, the visuals and animation themselves just wasn't great. So I don't know.
It was my least favorite out of some of the animations that we have seen so far.
I think I'm going to give it a 4.
I'm going to I want to say I second that, but I don't think it was that bad, so I'll give it a 5.
Kevin?
I'm gonna go with a 6.
6. Mike?
Right there with Kevin. I'm thinking a 6 as well.
Beautiful. Next up is the music and soundtrack. So, because we had so much time off, I had a lot of thinking to do. And I need to get out of the mindset that if there are no singing songs because it's not a musical, doesn't mean the soundtrack is bad. I have to start listening to the background music
The score. Yes, the score.
But
thank you. Let's go.
going
I'm a
into
big
this,
score person.
The Rat Boy song was okay, but it felt out of place. The Good to You song had rough lyrics. It was catchy enough, but also felt out of place. And the fact that he recorded a song about them getting captured and were going to die and use it as part of the domino effect device was crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a baller, egotistical, narcissist move. Insane.
Yeah, he was cooking up stuff with that one.
What?
I said he was cooking up stuff with that one.
And like I said about the soundtrack and the score, thinking more of that. I think the score and sound effects during the fight scene were so lackluster that it took away from the scenes.
Wait, sorry, say that again because I think what you just said was my biggest gripe with the movie.
The score and sound effects during the fight scenes were so lackluster that it took away from the scenes.
Okay, I was okay with the score. It was definitely the sound effects. Like, they lacked so much impact, and it bothered me.
Mike, I know you usually have stuff to say about music, so you got anything?
To be honest, this is one of the times I don't. And it's literally because I watched that movie, and I'm telling you, you said like the Rap Boy song or something?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even really remember the songs. And I'm thinking on the music score, I'm like,
oh, Radigan.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Rap Boy song. Okay. Yeah, nah, honestly, I thought the music was just very lackluster for me personally.
Yep.
I didn't feel anything in any of the scenes from it. And I think anything was enhanced with music, sound effects, or anything. To me, it was just more or less about the story, and that I didn't feel any type of musical score that impacted or helped it in any way. That's why I've been more or less silent, just like because I don't really have a lot from the movie for some reason.
Right.
It was very just meh. Everything. Actually,
Yeah.
I think the music's probably the worst part for me.
Yikes. Kevin, you got anything to add about music?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go first because I'm not sure what I want to do with my score.
Okay, I'm going to give it... If it was just the music, I would have given like a 5. Like, because I don't think the music is terrible, but I don't think it's great. Middle of the road. But the sound effects is what hurt it the most. So I'm gonna take that to like a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. That's what I was thinking.
I think we're all thinking, possibly all thinking alike because I was thinking 3 as well.
I was thinking 4.
All right. Just has to ruin it.
Yep. That was one above.
I was like, it's not that bad. It's not good, but it's not that bad, guys.
It's not the Black Cauldron. Humor. I loved Fidget, and when he dropped down into the window, he was like, "Bah!" and the little girl screamed, and then he got scared. He was so freaking funny. Basil saved his violin from the girl dropping it, and then he sat on it. The bat was checking. The bat was checking off his list, and he was like, "Tools, I got tools. Gears, double check. I got plenty of gears. Girl, oh, I didn't get girl."
He was actually surprisingly competent for like a sidekick. A sidekick, or a minion or henchman, whatever you want to call them.
They're usually bumbling idiots.
Right, but not this guy. This guy was on his job.
And then the bat went to leave, but Toby scared him. The girl. What is the girl's name? I just keep calling her the girl.
Olivia.
Okay. Olivia or Olivia?
Olivia.
Okay. Olivia stomped on the bat's foot and he was like, "Ow, my foot, my only foot." I don't know how you don't love that voice, Dequan. It's so great.
I couldn't, man. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
Fidget reenacting the scene from the toy store was funny when he was trying to tell Radigan what happened.
Yeah.
And then he was also funny when the cat was trying to eat him. Just listening to him in the cat's mouth was hilarious. And then when Fidget was leaving the bar, when he was climbing into the pipe, he was singing the song that that girl mouse was singing. All my notes are about Fidget. Fidget pedaling that blimp pipe was so funny to me. Just the way he was doing it. And the way that he was dressed up as the Queen's Delivery guy. He just looked amazing.
Yeah. With the hat.
I love how he never answered her question, by the way. She was like, "Have you been with us long?" Bro did not answer that question at all.
So I think there was a lot of funny moments in this, and it's mainly because of Fidget. So you guys are welcome to mention more that I left out or touch on ones that I did talk about, but I am going to give this movie a... What do I want to give it? I'm going to give it a 7.
I don't really have any moments per se. I'll be honest, I didn't find the movie very humorous myself. I will give it a 3 on the humor.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Fidget brought a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to say a 6.
That's fair.
I'm thinking a 4.
What is your thoughts on Fidget? We know mine, Kevin, and Dequan's, but what's your thoughts on Fidget?
I'm very conflicted because I love him as a character, but he did the thing that made me hate the henchman in the 101 Dalmatians. He got too much enjoyment out of kidnapping a child and basically terrorizing her. And I'm just like, I hate to be like, I like him because of how much I hated the henchmen in 101 Dalmatians. That I even said they're worse than Cruella because they are enjoying wanting to murder these dogs.
Right.
But he didn't want to enjoy murder, but he was enjoying kidnapping a child, and it's like that's in the same category as that's really messed up. But he is a great character, and the reason I gave it a 4 is because he's the only one who made me laugh, and it's just a foot line. My foot, my one good foot. Like that. I was like, okay, you got that one. That one was good.
Yeah, that line's freaking amazing.
I think almost everything about him, design wise, voice wise, the way his character's portrayed, and everything like that, I really like a lot. But man, why do he have to get so much of a thrill of enjoyment out of kidnapping a child, bro? Like he couldn't just do it as just that's the job. All right, boss, I go kidnap the child and then just do it. No, he got enjoyment out of it.
Right. So, with that, we go to world building. I loved that mini wood shop at the beginning. Basil's study was pretty good. The toy store was good. They did a good job making it look creepy. The pub was cool. Radigan's lair was kind of lame, but and then they went to I think they did a very good job showcasing that there is a whole mouse world underneath the real world.
Yeah, like an underground mouse world.
Yeah. Like Flushed Away. Remember that movie?
Oh man, that was a good movie.
That movie taught me how to make a clay snail.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because the little or not snail, slug. Taught me how to make a clay slug. Because I was on the DVD, there was like a behind the scenes, and they show you how to make one. And then I followed it, and I was like, all right, now I know how to make one.
That's cool. So yeah, there's Radigan's Lair is probably the only thing that I really didn't like, so I think 7 is the perfect score again.
Did you give your score?
Me?
Yeah, I thought you were going to give your score.
Did I cut out?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
I said 7.
7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I just heard score. Sorry. I apologize. I would give it for the world building. Like I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think that will be a 7 for me as well. So I did like I think the area that I liked the most was the toy store with the doll that fell, and then the eyeball blinked. I was like, I'm like, what the heck? Ooh. That's cool though.
I'm right on board with the 7. The toy store was... It reminded me a lot of... I mean, this will, again, play into, like, the favorite scenes, but the with everything, with all the toys in action and motion at the same time, all doing different things, you know, the little Dumbo cameo, all the different things going on at once. It was a lot like the Pinocchio with all the clocks.
Right.
Oh, true.
So yeah, I'm 7 as well.
So yeah, I completely forgot about the time them running to the toy store on Toby. They were running through the city of London, so that's another tip in the cap of world building.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Nice. Clean sweep 7. Look at us go. Next up is emotional impact. It was kind of, I mean, I understand why Basil was doing it, but he was yelling at Dawson, and Dawson already felt so bad for letting the girl get kidnapped, and then Basil was just yelling at him about it, and then he did then realize that how bad he felt and stopped, so.
I think that was the biggest emotional scene for me because... Like there was like, you know, a good decent emotional scenes here, but that one right there I think hit the hardest because like he generally felt heavily responsible for this girl. Like I mean, after all, he was the one who found her. He is the one who made that. He's the one who brought her to him, saying that we'll find your dad and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And he had one job. One job was to watch after her, and he missed that. He messed up that job just to get yelled at about him. He's like you said, he's already feeling bad about it. So like it sucked, and I'm a little annoyed at Basil for not apologizing. Like I mean, like all he said is "Don't worry." I'm like, no, apologize. What do you mean, don't worry?
I mean, I can understand him not apologizing because he did just let a little girl get kidnapped. So.
Yeah, but he wasn't also a saint himself.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't make a note of it, but when the little girl was alone because her dad got kidnapped and she was just sitting in the rain crying, that sucked. That was.
I thought about that too. I'm like, why she just sitting in the rain instead of in her house. But then I thought to myself, I mean, it'd probably be a little, traumatic to sit in that house that got ransacked.
Yeah. And then I have an emotional impact that would have been huge if they would have done it, but they didn't. So I'll talk about what they did and what they should have done. So
Right.
Redigan was making it seem like he wasn't mad at Fidget to the point to where he hugged him and they were walking away. And when they go off screen, you hear the bell jingle. And that was very powerful. If they would have left it off there and we didn't see Fidget for the rest of the movie, that would have been a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
Would have been fantastic. I was hoping they would have done that because like hear me out. I wish they would have done it because it would have left a much, much bigger impact. But I'm glad they didn't because I actually do like that character. Like, so that's like it's hard. Like, it's a 50-50 for me. Like, it would have been great, but at the same time, it would have sucked because then we would have had no more Fidget.
Well, that's right.
I mean, he did try.
Yeah,
but
Fidget got out.
No,
Fidget was a
didn't get
fighter.
out. He told him to stop because he had an idea.
No, the cat swallowed Fidget.
Yeah, Fidget did escape, but he escaped several times, but got pushed back in.
But yeah, I really liked Fidget. It would have sucked for him to die, but that would have just made it that much more powerful because of how much he was liked. And I just thought that them going off the screen and then you hear that little bell, I was like, oh man. And then they showed them in the very next scene, and I was like, oh well, okay, never mind.
Oof. Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
No one dies. Except for Radigan.
Yeah, Radigan doesn't do so well. So for emotion, there's not really much. 3 or 4, I don't know. I'll judge it off what you guys give it. So, Dequan, what do you say?
I would have said 4 with you, but I'm gonna waive it for that one scene between the Doctor and Basil. So I'll waive it to a 5.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going with a 4.
I'm kind of stuck between a 4 and a 5 because I think the scene between the Doctor and his daughter is good, but everything else is just very whatever, personally.
There was. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, you go.
Okay, I was gonna say there was one other scene that got me, and I would say this is the most like impactful for me, is when they were saying their goodbyes and when she gave Basil a hug, but she didn't give the Doctor a hug. Don't know why, but gave Basil a hug, and then as she's saying bye, she goes around the house, and then before she goes, she whispers bye again. It was heartwarming. And then when the Doctor was like, well, I guess I'll take my leave too. And you see that Basil was like, sad because like all the people that he bonded with is now leaving him. I'm like, that right there. And then like when the lady came in distraught about whatever, I guess a ring that he was talking about, some emerald ring on her third finger. And he was super ecstatic, to like usher the Doctor into a partnership again. So I'm like, that right there was a big scene because the whole goodbyes and seeing how this once, some like, cocky, somewhat arrogant, detective is now feeling the need for others when he didn't care too much for others at the beginning. So it was a nice flip on character.
Yeah,
it was nice character growth.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5.
He convinced you. So yeah, he did a good job convincing me too. So I'll give it a 5.
I didn't mean to convince.
Wait, Joey got convinced. He said give it a 4.
Yeah, well, I was debating between a 3 and a 4. So
I just found it funny. You convinced me. I'm gonna give it a 4. I thought he was about to say 5.
The message and the theme. So what ChatGTP says the message revolves around the importance of courage, friendship, and determination. And then the theme is a preliminary, I'm just skipping that word. A classic detective story set in a mouse-sized world. It draws inspiration from Sir Arthur Cohen's Sherlock Holmes, with Basil serving as the mouse version of the famous detective. It combines mystery, adventure, and humor. So with the message being importance of courage, friendship, and determination.
I agree with that. They displayed every last piece of that.
This
I can agree with that too.
exhibits great intelligence and resourcefulness, demonstrating that even the smallest individuals can make big differences. The film encourages the idea that one should believe in oneself and face challenges head on.
Even
You know
the
what?
smallest individuals can make the biggest differences. But I
I
mean,
hate-
they're just making differences in their own world, in their own their
Thank you, Kevin.
size.
Thank
I
you,
think
thank you,
that's
thank you,
more
thank
so
you.
talking about the little girl because he didn't want her coming and she helped out a lot.
Did she help out a lot though?
Until she got kidnapped, I think so.
I don't think she helped out that much, to be honest. Like, she was quite literally a tag along.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. But the importance of courage, friendship, and determination.
She did show courage
I
by being
think-
like, I'm going on this
I mean-
adventure with you guys instead of, sitting back. I'm not saying
I mean-
it's smart. I'm just saying it was courage.
Everyone showed courage. Even like, her dad who was kidnapped, he was like, yo, I'm not doing this. And he was
that's
like,
why
well,
it's
I'm
I
gonna
don't
kill your
know.
daughter.
I
That's why
think
the
would have been more
message of the-
courageous if he tried to swing on Rat again.
That's why the
Just waits
message
by
of
the
movie
door.
is showing the importance of courage because they all had courage. The importance
Yeah.
of courage, friendship, and determination. And I
I
think,
think if the doctor waited by when the door opens for Rat going to come out and just clocks him over the head with a wrench and then runs out, I think that would have been really courageous.
That would have been. I would though have been brave too, but like I would say, like, all jokes aside, like when the toy maker, her father, was like, I'm not doing this, I'm like, cool on you. And he proceeded to destroy the machine. I was like, okay, maybe not that far. Like, you went a little too far there, boss.
yeah, because then he just had to rebuild it.
Yep. And you got your daughter threatened in the process.
Yeah, so if we're going off of that, I think that's pretty strong. I'll give it a 7.
I want to give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 because it hits the marks very, very well. Outside of that one mark that Kevin said, like, you can't really use even the littlest people can make the biggest difference when they're all little people in their little world. Like, what do you mean?
Wait, that makes it exactly it. He's comparable to Sherlock Holmes. And funny enough, I was really curious because I was like, wonder what Google says the meaning is. It says, while the human Holmes is able to solve difficult crimes, Basil must work even harder to do so.
How?
Because he's a mouse. He's smaller.
Combating
He's dealing with mouse crimes. It's not like he's dealing with human crimes.
Yes, but if Sherlock Holmes wanted to go to the toy store, he could just go there and take like a 5-minute walk. It probably took Basil like 15 minutes to get there because of how small he is.
He also had
Okay.
he had to pull up the
I
dog,
don't know. Mice
to do
are
that.
fast.
and he was fighting a rat. A rat
Okay.
easily bodies a mouse.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes is just fighting another human who's smart like
Very
him.
true.
They're just
Alright.
even. That rat bodies a mouse easily. He was buff too. It's not like that was just any ordinary rat. That was a rat that hits the gym. All arms. Bench presses.
What about the section that says the film encourages the idea that one should believe in oneself in the faces of challenges, and face challenges head on?
That's
I
what
agree
the
with that.
boy Basil do by going at that rat. That's a dumb idea, bro. That rat's crazy. And he got a big cat.
He's got a big cat.
He has a big dog though, so like,
Well, the dog didn't. Well, the dog did stop the cat at the end.
mm-hmm.
Didn't the cat fall off of something at the end? I feel like the cat died.
Cats can't die from fall damage. They land on their feet.
Well, what if he fell?
Plus,
off
they
a
have
boulder
9
or
lives.
something?
Yeah, and they have 9 lives. They got respawns.
They got respawns.
Not only do they always land on their feet, but they got 8 respawns.
They're kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie.
See,
OP.
he was facing such more harder difficulties than Sherlock Holmes ever faced.
Let's see. Toby chases Felicia away. She manages to escape from him by scrambling. Oh, where'd it go? By scrambling up a brick wall where Toby cannot follow. Thinking she has outsmarted Toby, Felicia flicks her tail at him and she hops over, only to be viciously attacked by a dozen royal guard dogs. See, that's why I thought she died. You see
Oh, no,
bits
she
of
definitely
fur
dead.
And her bow fly in the air.
They took out all 9
yeah,
lives.
That's why I said she
Yeah,
died.
because
Because she
a
did.
dozen is 12.
Wait, those
Yeah,
dogs
yeah.
spawn camped her. That's messed up. They spunk after waiting to take their turns.
You guys made me think I was crazy for thinking she died.
Well, now we know. Now we got the context.
Yeah. Kevin.
That's karma, though.
I'll go with a 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this a sandwich because I'm putting that as an 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that just leaves one category left: the legacy, the impact the movie has had on popular culture. This movie I don't think has that much impact on popular culture.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I think this movie got hit by was an influenced by popular culture.
Right.
And there are some bad parts about this movie that would not be in a movie that was released today. Like Basil, when he first showed up, was in a very stereotypical disguise. Not great. And then when the showgirl mouse ripped off her dress to reveal her showgirl outfit and was singing about taking her clothes off, not great.
You know, I don't think that was that bad, but I get it.
It's bad to today's standards because today's standards aren't like what they used to be. They used to be before, like, they let stuff like that slide because that was a product of its time. Now, in today's day and age, people view that as that's a bad thing, so they would be against it.
And on top of that, people are a little bit more self-aware of these things than because of the use of the internet and whatnot,
right,
compared to in the past where we were not nearly as self-aware.
And that's why it's in the legacy category, because it affects its legacy if it's looked back negatively at.
Right.
But this movie really doesn't have a legacy to begin with, so I had never seen this movie before watching it, so I have absolutely no memories of watching it as a kid. I had never wanted to watch it.
I just remember the box art and then the little girl. That's all I remember from this movie when I was younger.
I'll probably watch it again, but I mean, a
Maybe
1 or a 2 is
the
as
third
generous as I can get.
You're better than me.
You give it a 0?
Oh, no.
I thought you were talking about just how you said you'd rewatch it again.
Yeah, I was talking about the rewatch it again part. Well, I would not rewatch this again. But if I had to give it a score, I'd give it like a 2.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 1. I don't think there's anything about the legacy that warrants.
I just remember it. That's the reason why. And I spoke to a coworker because I talked to my coworker about the pod, and he's mad at all of you, by the way, because he really wanted to hear the Oliver and Company pod. But I digress.
Huh?
Well,
Who's he mad at?
He's mad at you and Kevin, not so much Mike.
Wait.
Who was
I explained why it was postponed so much, and I even told him, I'm like, the last one was me this time. So yeah. So, but I was talking to him about it. He remembers The Great Mouse Detective, and he was like, it's a pretty good movie. He was like, not one of his favorites. So, like, I spoke to another person who remembers the movie, and I have a memory of 2 things to the movie, which is why I would give it a 2.
I only really remember seeing the box art a lot as a kid in like that plastic VHS case.
Those
cool art,
like
one of the thick ones.
Cases are so iconic.
Although they were always horrible to close. Always hated the closing part. Everything else about it was cool. But I do remember, I think, I don't know, like maybe 6 years ago, I saw it and I was like, you know what, let me finally watch this movie because I never remembered seeing it. So about 6 years ago, I watched it.
Nice.
That timing's probably off too.
Okay.
I'm going with a 2.
How about you, Mike?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I be like slightly generous or do I just be brutally honest?
Well,
Brutally
it's all
honest.
about honesty.
Brutally honest? What the heck kind of legacy does this movie have? That's a 0. What? Like, this movie was based off of a legacy. This didn't make a legacy.
Right. It's very fair.
All I remember is the case from a kid. I remember a lot of cases from when I was a kid. I also remember the movies from when I was a kid. That's the crazy part.
So that is the first 0 of this movie.
Of course it is.
Surprisingly, Black Cauldron only got 1 0. I don't know why. When we film an episode, I then make videos for my TikTok of me explaining my scores and my character rankings. I'm sure maybe you guys have seen them. Maybe you haven't.
I have.
I see him on them.
So when I did the Black Cauldron, when I got to the legacy portion, I was like, I honestly have no idea why I gave this a 1. There's no reason it should be a 1, but whatever.
You just really didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. There's no legacy for it. Just like this movie, I'm giving it a 1.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Why?
You made me think you were talking about it like that. It would have had higher. I thought that's what you were saying. My bad.
It was like this movie. I gave it a 1, but realistically, should it have a 1? Probably not, but whatever. So, with that, our total scores are in last place. We have Mike with a 50. Oh, I'm sorry. Dequan with a 50.
Solid 50.
Right down the middle. Next up, we have Mike with a 52. Then we have Kevin with a 53. And then me with a 54.
Dino, bump one of your scores up just by 1.
No, I like my solid 50.
Yeah.
I hate your solid 50 right now.
We have 51, 52, 53, 54. That's nice. But, I mean, what we all said at the beginning panned out to it being in the 50s. Of it just being
Which is
straight down the middle.
hilarious.
So, I think that's a fair score, honestly.
Yeah. It was a mid movie. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah. Also, in our time off, I was thinking, because I imagine, maybe not for you guys, but for me, I imagine there's going to be a couple movies that get 100. So I was like, how do I differentiate them at that point? So that's just something I'm going to have to think about when we get to it.
Yeah.
Maybe there won't be any that get 100, but I imagine there's going to be some that get 100.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be.
Interesting. I think there's going to be. But that's for us to find out. I think.
Oh yeah, maybe near the end with that one movie that you really like.
Encanto, I've gone back and forth, and I was like, I want to give that a 100, but I don't know if I can, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. But in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think my first 100 is coming in five movies.
What's the next movie?
The next movie is Oliver and Company. It was supposed to be Brave Little Toaster, but now it's Oliver and Company.
I can't wait.
Supposed to be what?
It was supposed to be the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh.
Mike's playing the part of Disney right now. It's supposed to be what?
Supposed to be what?
Oliver and Company. Oliver and Company.
I don't have.
I'm excited for Oliver and Company.
So, just skip over Bell's fan fiction section unless you guys have something. But I doubt there's anything.
No,
I have a
don't
fan
have a single
fiction.
thing.
Of course you do. Let's hear it. Is the Euphoria in the summer?
No. I could if you really want me to, but no. I was just gonna say, the mouse was originally Sherlock Holmes' actual pet mouse that he had, and that's why he took so much inspiration from him, and then decided to go become a detective on his own,
Hey, that's
like his owner.
That could be.
And that's my fan theory I just made up.
Yeah, that could be. There was no indication that any of these animals were pets at any point other than the dog and cat. So I'm going to say no to that, but it's not far-fetched.
The only thing that makes me think it is because he's in the same house.
Yeah, so, see, that's what I was going to say. If you would have come at me and said that he lived in the same house, not that he was his pet, but if he resided in his house, then okay, maybe, yeah.
Sense.
Oh well,
But
that
since you
one's
said pet. Nope.
well, that one's confirmed. He does. They zoom out and you see that Sherlock Holmes is in there.
Yeah.
So that's not a theory. That's confirmed.
Oh.
That's why I said I think that was his pet, who then just decided I want to be a detective myself.
Cool. That makes me want
and went
to
off
give
on
the
his
world
own.
building bigger.
Joey's like, wait a minute. The score's going up.
I'm giving world building an 8 after that.
No, that's it.
So for Riley's emotion, what was everyone's favorite and least favorite moment of the movie? Dequan.
Favorite moment of the movie was the ending, the very ending. Like, I don't know, man. It was heartwarming. It was sad. It was everything. I loved it. I loved it way too much, more than I should have. My least favorite moment, I think my least favorite moment had to be, and it's not the scenery or the set piece or anything like that. I just feel the way that it happened was just crappy, and like I feel like it shouldn't have happened because there was ways to prevent it. Was Olivia getting kidnapped in the toy store?
Makes sense. Kevin.
So I don't really have a least favorite.
I do.
But my favorite was the toy store scene.
Mike.
Mine will be my favorite is the toy store scene, like Kevin, but my least favorite is actually when Basil and I can't remember the other guy's name. They're tied up into the multiple "this is how you'll die in 20 different ways" machine, and it's being like it made me mad because Basil was frustrating me. I'm like, bro, look, I understand you just got humbled and you can't handle it because of your big ego, but can you mope about this after we escape, please? Something. Like, he outsmarted me this time. Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay, well, look, dude, we're going to die. Please, just try something. Let's think of something. And then he pulled the most, like, I don't even know how to word it. Like, just out of his hat, out of nowhere.
Man, the timing.
Like, okay, that actually worked.
The timing of pulling the pin of the mousetrap. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Big brain time. Did you give both your answers? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the Toy Story, I almost said Toy Story. The Toy Store scene is my favorite, and then my least favorite is them in the death machine because my man just couldn't handle being humbled.
So my favorite scene is pretty much anything Fidget was in, but I'm going to go with ow, my foot, my only foot. And then my least favorite moment, I think, is going to be when Basil comes up with that stupid propeller. Everyone's favorite and least favorite song. There's not much to pick from, but there are stuff to pick from, so we're going to do it.
Oh, man.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Favorite song is probably the Rat Boy song. Least favorite song, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. That's the only song I remember.
Well, there's a song in the pub. There's the Rat song, and then there's the Death Machine song.
Okay, hold on, man. That's hard now. No, now that you mentioned those, I remember those. Okay, so the Radigan song I loved. I did love that, but also the Death Machine song was really good too. I didn't like the pub song. That's my least favorite, but I'm gonna go Radigan because it's catchier. But the Death Machine song was just, it was perfect in the aspect of just how it was set up and like the story behind that song was just great.
Yeah,
it's so good too when Dawson's trying to get Basil to snap out of it, and then he stops singing, and Dawson's like, "Oh no, it's time!" And then he goes into another. So good, Kevin.
I'm gonna say the Death Trap song is the best, and the Radigan one is the least favorite.
Wow. Okay. Mike?
I can't remember how the Death Trap or the pub song go.
That's a fair point. I can't either.
But I remember I was not a fan of the Radigan song. And even so, I'm putting that as my least favorite. And you know what? I don't even care. I'm throwing the pub song as my favorite.
So my favorite is going to be the Death Trap Machine, even though I don't remember it. I just know that it's just the context of it is so good.
It was very swingy.
And then the pub song's my least favorite. Favorite, least favorite character, Dequan.
I mean, there should be no shocker. It's Olivia.
Least
least. No, my favorite. Come on now.
No,
Silly.
his favorite is Radigan.
Like if Olivia, like it was a hard choice between Olivia and the dog, because like it was a hard choice between the two. I chose Olivia, obviously, but my least favorite is I'm gonna say my least favorite is the cat. I don't like that cat.
Okay.
Did that cat have a name?
Yes, Felicia.
Okay. Thank you.
Felicia the cat. Kevin?
Fidget's my favorite. Man. The rest of them, least favorite, let's go with Olivia's dad.
What? Not the cat? The cat who tried to eat your boy?
What?
The cat when Radigan tried to feed Fidget to the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. You're saying why not the cat? I thought you were calling her dad a cat.
No, what the heck?
That's why I was confused.
That was wild.
Do you have an answer for Dequan?
No answer.
Mike?
I want to say Fidget is my favorite because I like everything about him. But my man got a little too much enjoyment out of kidnapping a child. So I'm going to put Olivia as my favorite. And then my least favorite, I don't really have a real strong feeling towards anyone as a least favorite. So this might be a wild take. I'm stuck between putting Basil or Felicia, the cat. I don't like the cat because I mean, but the cat just is doing what it's ordered to.
Yeah, I feel like the cat's just such a small part.
But the cat enjoyed it though.
It did, but like for some reason, the cat enjoying getting a meal to me isn't as bad as a person enjoying kidnapping a child and terrorizing the child.
You are absolutely right, but this cat was like taking enjoyment out of eating live creatures.
That just sounds like every cat.
That's what they do, man.
Yeah, I know. They're crazy.
So Basil,
and I know it's. Picking? I don't know. He just kind of annoyed me at a lot of parts.
He's a cocky dude.
It's just like some of the stuff he did like annoyed me, like with the violin thing. He's like, "Child, don't touch my violin. You're gonna break it." Then sits on it. Like, bro, you're supposed to be a genius. How'd you do something so stupid? And he just had a couple moments like that.
Yeah.
And Radigan just feels a little too basic to be like, yeah, I hate Radigan.
Right.
Because I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm gonna put Basil. Just because he annoyed me in a good couple of parts is my least favorite.
So for me, least favorite, like you said, Mike, is that I don't really feel too strongly about people being bad. So I'm honestly going to put the Queen in last place just because she's barely in the movie.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that as a character. I didn't even think about the Queen as a character.
And if it's not her, if you don't want to count her, then I guess it has to be the cat or the dad.
I'm gonna say the Queen counts because I think any character that technically has a role counts.
Yeah, so it's the Queen then. And then for favorite, there's two so far removed from everyone else, and there's Olivia, and then so far above Olivia is Fidget. So it's not even a question. Fidget is the best character. He is hilarious. Now the question is, does he crack my top 10 Disney characters? You'll have to tune into People Call Me Joey on TikTok to find out. Look at that.
Spoiler alert. It beep.
Wow, did you guys hear that?
No, what was that?
Oh, okay.
Beep.
Next up is Genie's Inbox Extravaganza, and guess what? We don't have any emails. So, so that goes into the outro, and you can find us pretty much anywhere at TMOA_pod. Pretty much on
TMOA pod.
on any social media platform you want to find us on. That's not true because I'm pretty sure we're only on 3 and YouTube, but because we're not on Threads to my
But
knowledge.
if we were on other ones, it would be the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So if
so
you're on
if you pull
MySpace
out-
too, still, maybe we're on there.
We also have a Bumble. Make sure you swipe right on us.
That would be.
Get a
Specifically made us a Bumble. Swipe right.
You can email us at I don't even know. themagicofAnimation@gmail.com. If you have any questions or any thoughts on this movie or previous movies or upcoming movies, give us something to talk about in Genie's Inbox Extravaganza, because we've only ever had one question in the history of our podcast.
We're gonna get a question and be like, how do you guys feel about Frozen? Can you guys review Frozen right now? We want to see Frozen. No!
So I started another podcast called Beyond the Castle, and the people that I interviewed for the first episode, I asked them what they thought the most overrated movie was, and they both said Frozen. So
Oh my.
Well,
You've got some real good people on that.
that invalidates these people very quickly.
Invalidates. I think it like put a gold star on them.
Yeah, and you don't like peanut butter and jelly, so
Your point? I'm sorry, I don't like basic tasting stuff that
Wait,
just
hold
gets
on
people
now.
by.
It is not basic or tasting, and it does get us by. That's the best part about it.
You know what else gets you by? Peanut butter and Nutella. Tastes
That's
better too.
dry as heck.
that sounds like an awful
Dry. Yeah, dude,
You'll be like,
you guys are so weak. That's crazy.
trying to get your
Can you
mouth
imagine
really
having that
sticky.
weak of an appetite that you can't handle some peanut butter and Nutella?
That's a Popeye's biscuit if I've ever heard of one.
Couldn't be me, bro. I eat that dry.
so
Like no drink.
Dequan,
And I eat 2 of them.
are you anywhere on the interwebs for people to find you?
Outside of my Instagram, but I don't really use it. Just being like Dino Dequan or Dequan Dino. I don't know which way it is, but that's about it. Really, it's one. I don't know the direction of that. I barely use that. I send memes and like comment and leave likes on your stuff.
Kevin is radio silent on the interwebs, right?
yes, sir.
And Mike
You can find me at Mike.
at Mike. Just follow at Mike.
At Mike. They call me Mike out here. Follow at Mike.
Mike
I'm on
check.
YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on not TikTok. I'm on Vinyl.
Oh,
I'm on Bumble.
oh.
Please swipe right. I need some type of affection.
What is vinyl?
What'd you say, Dequan?
I said, what is vinyl?
Vinyl is like vinyl records, right? Or is there an app that I don't
Yep.
know about?
No, Vinyl Records.
Yeah.
I'm on Vinyl
Oh,
Records.
okay.
Wonderful. Don't follow anyone at Mike. That's not real.
You don't know that.
Well, I'm sure
There's
there is an
probably
at
someone
Mike,
at
but
Mike.
it ain't
Follow
you.
them. Give them some love and
But
support.
it ain't you.
Give them some love and support. They
Oh,
might
man.
need it.
Well, I guess that's where we're going to leave it. Stay tuned so we can discuss Oliver and Company with the next episode. Can't wait. It's been too long. So excited. Had a blast and a half here. And remember, they all lived happily ever animated.
Except Radigan.
He
And
died.
except Joey for that propeller scene.
What?
I said except you for that
Oh,
propeller
yeah,
scene.
no. And I'm not animated.
I mean, you could be.
Are you
There's
saying that you
nothing's-
feel like you should be more animated?
I do feel that way sometimes.